How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. We are doing this live on Jack's Twitch channel, and today the topic we're going to talk about is the Outlast Trials. So I want to talk a little trash about Jack for a second because he only got to play about what's his Steam. Brad, pull up his Steam. Show me how many hours he's put into that game. He wanted to talk about it.
I told y'all we can play whenever y'all want.
This man put in
Nobody reached out to me.
This man put in 2.5 hours. Get out of here, bro. But it's currently available on Steam, Epic Games Store, $30 early access. I think yesterday, when me and Brad were playing, it showed just a little over 100,000 people had played the game. It's probably more than that, but I think so far it's pretty solid. And I've played both Outlast games, but I want to get Brad's point of view on it first, and then we'll jump to Jack. So, Brad, what did you? How do you like the Outlast trial so far?
Yep.
Here you go, baby. Moving on.
I accidentally just closed down Steam, so my avatar just froze. I've actually, so I'm not big on I'm not big on horror games, but I really like pretty much any co-op game. Like I don't like honestly, I don't like playing any multiplayer game unless I have friends to play with. So exclusively non-competitive multiplayer games are great. I enjoy them. So it's definitely a new experience. I did play the first Outlast game. I did not play the second one or any DLC.
Second one was messed up, man. That is a messed up game. I thought the first one was pretty rough, but the second one, man, they go pretty hard.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of the speedruns and I've seen playthroughs of all of them, which, you know, it's a different experience watching them, you know, beat the game in like 14 minutes. But
yeah, there's no scares in that. There's no sense of tension, you know.
It's a different type of scare. It's more of just like a general like horrific commentary on society in that aspect. So it's a different type of scare, but I understand.
True. It's big facts. So, Jack, in the limited time you've played, so I've played with you, Sneaky, and Squoze, and we did part one of the police station.
Maybe 3 different ones?
No, we did 2.
No, we did. Yeah, we did one of them.
We did
twice.
Yeah, we had to do one twice. That video is going to be live on Thursday. So I took pretty much an hour and a half of footage and cut it down to like 25 minutes of just. You're gonna like it, Jack, because I talk a lot of shit about you. And like the little black screens.
That's fine. Fuck it.
But
fuck it.
Yeah, we went through the police station, and then we went through the what was the second one? Well, I can't remember the stage.
The carnival.
Yeah, the carnival.
Or whatever that is.
Yeah, the carnival stage. So, which first off, like, how do you like the game so far?
You think we need to explain it all to anybody who doesn't know what Outlast is?
Nah. Okay. We'll go through. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
All right. What I think about it, it's definitely a lot different than your typical group horror. I feel like there's a lot more suspense with these
what is
monsters.
Brad's avatar doing? It's like opening his mouth. Are you eating?
Oh.
No, I'm just moving my mouth up and down. It wasn't registering there for a second, so I wanted to make sure it was working.
I'm sorry to cut you off, man.
My bad.
You're good. I mean, I'm kind of all right with the story, the plot, with it being like you're this pretty much a test dummy for this corporation.
Yeah, it's a prequel to the Outlast games.
Trying to get your freedom, right? Yeah,
it's a prequel to the Outlast games. The Murkoff facility. They if you played Outlast 1 and 2, they have like a heavy footprint, and they do a lot of really shady, incredibly dark shit, and they recruit a lot of psychopaths. A lot of human testing. There's a YouTuber out there. His name's Gaming Harry. He did a whole breakdown, and he goes like really deep into it. Like we're talking like Vietnam era Civil War, or I'm sorry, CIA type stuff, where they talk about like, you know, testing on humans, like MK Ultra, like acid on people. Yeah, it's pretty fucked up, man. It's pretty deep. It's pretty cool. But go on, Jack. Like, what do you think about? So here's what I want to ask you. Like, you played the first Outlast, right? Or is this your first?
A little
Outlast
bit of it.
game? Okay. So like,
or it might have been the second one. I don't remember which one I have.
What about the game do you like so far?
I like that the monsters are actually pretty unpredictable. They're actually scary as fuck to have to run from. I don't know. It's with it being a group based thing. It doesn't seem too monotonous.
Right.
It does seem like there is some kind of uh, what do you want to call it? Some randomness to it, but it looks like the objectives always stay the same now.
Yeah, the objectives stay the same. I do think enemy placement is a bit different. I know that me
Yeah.
and Brad played the police station on hard yesterday or
Mhm.
on trial, and we were like,
It was broken.
yeah,
Was it?
they throw
Oh my
some
god.
they like so when we played the police station Jack, it had like 2 or 3 enemies per area, right? In like the exam mode and even like on the harder difficulties that I saw, there's like 4 or 5 to 7, just patrolling all at once, and their pathing is super aggressive. We
Yeah.
found that the really giant dude who was naked, just dong flapping
Oh
about,
yeah.
that dude, like his pathing was unusual. Like he wouldn't just follow into one area. He would go all around and just search. And
Oh.
like one of the ways like I was kind of tricking him was I would bash a door and then
Mhm.
kind of go hide, and then he'd go and kick the door open, and that was like my cue to run away. But they're also much faster and far more aggressive, it felt like, because Brad got attacked yesterday and he was like through a window and he's like, "How are you so quick? You're so much bigger than this, man."
Oh no.
So yeah, it was a really interesting thing. Like the all the experimented humans, right? It feels like I don't know, I guess I have like it's like a video game version of the Purge, right? Except you can't fight back necessarily. You can defend yourself. But I think that the fact that you get your own rig after the first stage, after the first level, and then if you're playing in a team of 4, you can go out pretty balanced. You can have someone who heals someone, someone who throws out something as a distraction, X-ray,
Right,
so
or
you
a
can see through
trap.
the walls and stuff. Yeah, I think all that's great because it really does emphasize teamwork. Like when me and Brad were playing, or like going through like some of the MK trials in each level and stuff, like we would just we found out that it was a lot easier if you teamed up together than going solo. Because when
Right.
you're going
Mhm.
solo, man, we so like but for the most part, I think we handled the MK trials pretty well, Brad, right? Like we did pretty good through like the first 2 stages, and then we got to the third stage, the orphanage, and their the second MK trial they have there, and that was like a nightmare because they just
It
kept
was.
throwing people at you. And Mother Gooseberry, and that's the individual with the
Oh
doll,
man, that would make shit so
who,
difficult.
and she just chases you, bro. She has like no
Yeah.
hesitation. Like Brad was trying to like fix these what would you call them, Brad? Like I don't know if they are.
Radios.
Yeah, these radios,
like,
right? The frequency machines. Like Brad was like, "There's 2 of them now. Now there's 3 of them." And he just wouldn't stop. And the big dude would always leave his place to path, and it looked like he just stood outside the door waiting for us. So it kind of felt a bit unfair with the AI because once you start to get close to completing an objective, then they start to kind of get really aggressive in terms of their patrolling.
Yeah, like they wouldn't attack you. The pathing, it's like they knew where you were, but they wouldn't see you. So it's
Right.
like if you were if you were hiding, they wouldn't like actively attack you. But
You
it's
wouldn't
like
aggro them.
if you're in the room, there's going to be at least 2 just walking through that room constantly, and it's like, well, I don't know what to do here, so I'm just going to stay here for the next 45 minutes and watch Ken die eventually from starvation.
Bro, I'm serious, man. They would just chase me around. I'm like, how the fuck is that possible? I think the one thing though I have to give credit to the developers is that the level design is fantastic. Like they really do
I
give
do like it.
you a lot of options. Like me and Brad yesterday, we were doing the police station exam, and he found this switch, and so we found like this secret door that had like a bunch of items that we've never seen. There, like one like boosted like his health, one boosted my stamina. I had a master key where I could open up all the locks just by going up to them, right? So they really rewarded exploration. And one of the cool things is that in the main campaigns, they have like areas that are locked off. You see them like in the police station. You see the gymnasium, right? And that itself is its own MK trial. And then they have another one where they pretty much like they allow you to start the trial, and then you can see where the path should be, but most of it is like a very small corridor. And so when you're getting chased by like 2 of these, assholes, it's very tense. I think like it being scary kind of like went away after the first, phase of the game, but it being very tense afterwards because you have limited health, your battery runs out really quickly. What else, Brad? You have your rig like recharges very slowly. It takes about like takes around like 90 seconds to recharge.
There are
30-second
yeah.
cooldown.
there are doppelgangers that
Yeah.
roam
Yeah,
the dude. That,
I let Sneaky get attacked by a doppelganger. That was like on purpose. So if she ever watches the podcast, that was on purpose. Like in the video, I laugh a lot because I let you guys talk.
just experience it.
Yeah, you were like, "Hey man, so we have to like fight people or something." I said, "Nah, we just got to find the way to the police station." And you're like, "What's that?" Oh god, someone got tackled in the first like 30 seconds. I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be a nightmare." But for the most part, I think like the level design is great. And I love the fact that you have areas in which you have unlockable doors, you have you have doors you can break down, and then you have abilities as you play through the game
Yeah,
that
and
can
that's the
really
nice
help
thing
you.
about the whole cooperative piece to it is unlike like DBD, you're stuck. The cooperation that you have is
Mhm.
just either Jenny or like picking somebody up and healing them.
Right.
Whereas this, it's you're actually working together to complete multiple tasks.
Yeah,
And not
because
only that, getting through certain areas in the map, like climbing up, getting help to climb up to a certain area,
right.
or both of you
I mean,
helping to
like we
bang a
said,
door
like
down.
splitting up is not, I would say, really recommended when you're playing with.
Right.
I think if you're experienced, yeah, absolutely. But on higher difficulties, like
Oh, I can imagine.
it is very tense because
well,
like enemies are just swarming, and they'll throw like you'll go through a room and it feels like you're safe, and then somehow the dude with the gas comes out, and you're just like, where the
Psych.
fuck did you come from? Like,
yeah.
what?
Well, that's so the a lot of the objectives are not like instant complete objectives. You usually have to like crank something or like tune something. So there's some or like start a generator that causes noise. So if you're just trying to solo objectives, one they're eventually going their pathing is eventually going to run them into you, or you're making noise and they're just attracted to you. So if you don't have some type of interference from another player, like it makes the objective super monotonous trying to complete one objective by yourself.
I don't know if they had this in normal mode, but when you were disabling some of the traps in the police station and stuff, like I don't think any of the uh, enemies actually rotated towards you. On higher difficulties, they hear you break the traps, so they will run straight towards your position. So even though you're trying to help yourself with pathing, they'll find you pretty quickly, which is really interesting. I think the most terrifying enemy is the blind enemy, who is like it's a blind giant, and so all he does is like swing wildly. So me and Brad, we're trying to leave the police station, right, or trying to leave the parking lot to get past the generator, and he's like, I open the door, and both him and the cop are like right there, and I'm like, oh my god, dude. And I was like, let's see if this works. So I threw something at him. He's like, or no, Brad threw a brick. He's like, that didn't make any noise.
You talking about the guy that's like when he's in the police station, he's kind of sleeping
No.
and
It's
you can't
it's
wake him up or something like that?
no,
Not
it's
that guy.
this big. You remember like the giant you first saw, like the
Yeah.
really tall guy. Like there's another one that's blind, and like
Mm.
he's essentially like there's a character in Resident Evil 4 where pretty much he looks like Wolverine and stuff like that. I can't remember his
Yeah.
name, but every time you move, it will run to your area and he'll just start swinging wildly. So
Oh, shit.
me and Brad had to like use our rigs in certain ways. Like Brad had to like set a smoke bomb down, stuff like that. Like we had to
Yeah.
get like really aggressive with how
it
we.
was,
Oh, it makes you think about strategy big time.
it was actually funny. So Ken actually threw his rig and it stunned everybody. And as soon as we exited the door, there was a screamer in that area
That was
just started screaming.
fucking trash, dude. Yeah, they had like the screamers, dude. I hate those enemies. They stun lock you for so long.
Yeah.
And so like my rig, my upgrade to it I think it stuns you for like 5 to 10 seconds. So I was like, great, but the screamer stuns you for about 5 to 10 seconds too. So the big dude was like, I'm gonna chase you now. So I had to like run around. I'm like, Brad, open the door. And Brad set down his smoke trap. But like you have to get like in the higher trials, you have to be very aggressive, And one of the things you noticed, Jack, when we were playing, which I thought was funny, was when we got toward the end and like we were like trying to like shock the guy to death, kill the snitch.
Yeah.
You were like running away. And Sticky's like, where the fuck are you going? Get back
Trying
here.
to take him away.
That was super funny. Yeah, I like the objectives don't change, but I like the creativity in it. And this is just season 1, so like it's a nice primer for what's to come for this game. Now, eventually, I think me and Brad are going to complete all of the like exams and trials, so we can unlock.
If you guys want to include me, just let me know. I don't know when you guys
we-
play.
Every day, all night, man.
Every day,
That's
all night,
bullshit.
buddy. We don't need. Hey,
That's
we don't
bullshit.
need to get held back by you. Okay, you
Oh,
screaming
is
and
that what
dying.
that is?
I have like
Wait. We do need cannon fodder. We do need
This is true. We do
distraction.
need bodies just to be laying on the ground.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I need
Fucking
you
bait.
guys. Well, I mean,
The guy that screams and runs.
the plan was to get Chibi involved, and then she just mysteriously got ill again. You know, just happened to get sick randomly.
Sounds about right.
Just what it is. But she was playing the game, and it looked like she enjoyed it too. I just like the creativity in like some of the levels. I mean, I will say though, you haven't played the Orphanage yet, Jack, but the Orphanage is probably the most fucked up level.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's fucked up that even Chris, who was watching this play, was like, you can't show any of this on YouTube. And I'm like, well, I'm not monetized, and I don't have. We have to have like 1,000 subs and like a certain amount of hours.
Well, there's
like,
got to be. I mean,
no,
is
you
it that
can't.
bad?
Oh, it's
Like even a stream?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, dude! Like the very first like 10
How are
seconds of
people
it,
playing this game?
dude.
on
The very
stream,
first like 10 seconds of like you like getting into level when they do like the little dream state or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
They're just it says dong in your face, literally.
Oh.
They have like
Yeah.
the dude like he's literally crucified, just dong out, and they zoom it in on his.
Okay.
And as Chris said, he was like, it's like Brad, what are you doing there? Why is your nose up there? It looks like your nose. And yeah, you have to do something very violent to him, and it is. We were like,
Yeah.
wait, what do we do now?
Delicious.
And then Brad's like, hey, just come over here, and I'm like, what's this? And I was like, oh no, and we just try to talk our way through it because it was so fucked up.
Emotional support to each
Yeah,
other.
I know. We're like, like, don't look up. This is not okay. Like, we do not condone this.
Oh man.
So like, yeah, I feel like it's interesting because when the Outlast Trials were announced, a lot of people I think had some skepticism about it being multiplayer, right? And I thought it was going to be like more so of a full release instead of a live service game. But I think this could be a game if, depending on how quickly they transition for their roadmap, because I think like you doing essentially there's 5 objectives, I think 5 or 6 objectives per map, and then
Right.
program X to unlock all of it, right? So it's like a nice reward for you. I wonder if the seasons are only gonna be like 2 to 3 months long, and then they're gonna jump immediately into like season 2, because I'm really looking forward to seeing like what they introduce. And
Now, do you think they're gonna just change things within the existing maps, or you think they're gonna introduce more maps?
I think you see a higher likelihood of them introducing new maps, because the maps are actually small. They're pretty small. They're just dense, right? You have all these different nooks and crannies. Yeah, you have all these different nooks and crannies and stuff like that you can hide in. You know, obviously, what's great is that it's controlled enough to keep you entertained and engaged like the entire time, instead of having like these really big wide open spaces. I think, would you say like Dead by Daylight has like some distracting maps, something like that? You know,
There's some. It's a mixture. There's some maps where it's very open. You have a lot of space to run, and then there's other maps where it's like enclosed, and you have to be good at like dodging and weaving it and taking the killer through certain parts of the building. And knowing the building is usually a big help.
right? You know what? I really thought this could have been like an asymmetrical multiplayer game. Like you could like
Think
be
so?
one of the
Ah!
enemies, because like when you see
Oh,
the
man.
doppelganger for the first time, that fucked with me, because the dude just like casually walks up to me.
Well, that
And,
could be That
you
could
know,
be like a power.
I hit him with a brick while Brad's hiding in a fucking trash can. You know what I mean? Or like Sneaky gets stabbed and she's like, "What the fuck?" and screams and runs the wrong way. That type of stuff.
Yeah, that
I-
could be
I-
like a potential ability for the
I think it
killer
would.
or whatever it is.
I think it would be kind of cool if like you died and you were like, I have an option here. I can, or like while you're waiting to get revived, instead of you being revived, you can harass. You know, you could harass your own team coming out of the elevator like a doppelganger, and then going to stab one of your teammates and stuff. Like
So
that.
Forewarned kind of does that, where if you die in Forewarned, you can either be a mummy that helps or a mummy that kills.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would be like a cool thing that it could be. I do wish though that they had more boss types, because there's only 2 really in the Outlast Trials that we've seen. Maybe Program X has more. I don't know, but I do like Mother Gooseberry's design. Like she pretty much just tore someone's face off, wore it.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Has a drill, right?
Yep.
That's pretty.
He's a
fucking
puppet
cool.
with
Yeah,
a drill in the mouth.
It's a puppet with a drill in the mouth, right? Her backstory is that her dad was like a dentist, and she's like a little sociopath. That's all you need to know. That's
Yeah,
it.
That's great. Love
So,
that.
I'm really into this game when but I feel like it's one of those games where like depending on the difficulty of the level itself, I can only play for a short period of time. Like maybe
Yeah.
maybe less than 2 hours, because I'm just like, dude, there's so because like even with the MK trials, man, like when me and Brad were going through, like there's so much like waiting and plotting and pathing. You really have to have some type of strategy. And if you don't,
So what's the difference between the MK trials and
they're like singular objectives. And pretty much you
Yeah.
have like smaller areas to work in. So basically, when you do like you go to the police station, the first trial I think is you have to we were grinding bodies, right? We're literally dropping bodies into this grinder. And so you have to go around and find keys, and they have enemies placed in every room that you have to navigate around. And
yeah?
once you do that, you can then escape. So the second MK trial I think is more difficult than the first, right, Brad? Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we gotta talk sneaky into playing more rounds.
We actually we failed the second MK trial because like you have to activate, so you have to pretty much bring this gas can all the way through the police station.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we were like, what the fuck are we doing? So you're being chased because almost every enemy's more aggressive, and you have to make a lot of noise because you have a bunch of co-op actions. You got to break through doors together, that type of stuff. And then when you get to the end, which you don't know because you're kind of panicked because you're dragging all your enemies towards you, is that almost immediately to your right is the opening to the exit, and waiting for you is a giant wielding an axe. Like, so it's like, what the fuck? So the first time me and Brad did it, we went through and like immediately we're like, where are we going? And Brad went down because like someone chased him like the entire time and just pretty much killed him. So that was brutal. But yeah, so the MK trials are pretty much like bite-sized experiences, but they do scale in difficulty. So the first trial is usually like pretty simple, and then the second trial requires like teamwork, because if you don't, you're probably going to get killed. That's like the basic of it. And then like it usually they take place in areas that were cut off from the main map.
Yeah.
And then yeah, then you go to the exams, and then you go to the exam trial. So the exams are pretty much like scaled in difficulties. Like, think of the normal trials, like normal mode, then like hard, then like really hard. Because what they do is they throw traps at you. Doors, like you have certain doors that you were using before, you had like your pathing down. They remove that completely. So you have to like start thinking about other ways through. So pretty much when me and Brad started the police station, we are like, let's run toward the end. Let's run toward the room. That's what I did. I sprinted past everybody, bro.
You
I
know
was
what
like,
would be nice?
not doing it.
It'd be nice if they kind of randomized the maps a little bit, like rescan some of the buildings based, like rotate where a door would be or an opening would be, so then you don't just calculate the same
Well,
strategy every single.
that's what
game.
they do in like I think the exams. So like in the normal trials, they're generally like really open, so you can go pretty much anywhere and kind of path the way you want to. In the
Right.
exams, you can't do that. Like
Gotcha.
some doors are closed, or they're barricaded, and you're gonna make noise, and because there's more enemies and more noise traps and all that stuff, you're gonna run the risk. Like sometimes
It's annoying. Yeah.
it's fucking annoying, dude. Like Brad got cut outside, and he was like, I don't know where I'm going. He's like, I was like, run through the truck door. He's like, okay. And then, but I think one of the things, like when you start to get used to the game, pretty much the big strategy for me is like carry an antidote around. So like whenever the gas dude comes at you, man, just have him hit you with it, then pop the antidote, and you're good to go. Now you have one less enemy to worry about on the board for a little bit. So
Oh yeah.
like certain enemies though you can't get rid of. There's just no way. But it's really recommended that, as you progress, you start to look at upgrading your gear as often as possible. I think Brad went for his attributes first. So Brad is much faster. I think what's the other one you picked up that was like really good? I think it's like
So I have more total stamina and I sprint faster.
yes.
The next upgrade I'm going to get is I consume less stamina while running, so I can run faster for longer with more stamina.
Yeah,
I can just basically just speed run every map.
Yeah, one of the things I focus on was like my rig, because like it's really effective to have like a wider area of damage or effect, and then also being able to stun lock for longer. And then there's kind of that balance there. Like, do you want to be faster or do you want to be like a little bit more capable? Because like with the first tier is kind of, you know, you get a couple things that you really like you can bash open doors quicker, you can slide, all that stuff, and sliding is super important. It really is, because crouching is just not the business. But when you start to get like your other stuff down, it's really recommended. The thing I love about this game though is that the more players you have, the more difficult the challenges are, which I think is really cool. Because I feel like when me and Brad went through the first trial, it's like 2 people trying to navigate, you know, the basement to get, you know, the generators up, super easy, honestly. But when you had 4 people, it was like me, Jack, I was like, oh god, now I got to worry about, you know, how people are going to react when they get cornered or something like that. So you really have to pay attention to that. And you know, I wonder, like when we did the what was interesting is that when we did the carnival, me and Brad both admitted that that was probably best for 4 players, because when you do it with 2, when you do it with 2, you actually have to hit all 4 targets. So we had to travel around and stuff like that. So that can be stressful. And also, like, we were like confused. We're like, can we stack up on hearts? And then Brad starts stacking up on hearts while like not having enough gear with him and stuff. We're like, oh,
yeah,
shit.
Just like I threw all of my items on the ground. It's like, I'm just carrying a bunch of hearts on me now.
Yeah, I was ready to go through the door, and I was like, what are you doing? He's like, got to pick up my stuff.
Because it sucks. It's like if you miss, like with 2 people, if you miss one target, you have to run all the way back to the thing to pick up a single heart to complete the objective. It was like,
yeah, I think that might be one of the ones I'm not looking forward to, mainly because like the pipelines, that was a nightmare the first time. Me and Brad were like, where are we going? Like, what?
That one was tough. Like, that was hard to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because like if you're not paying attention to those pipes, and you're also not paying attention to like the layout where the enemies are, like if you panic and you go to a pipe too early, it's going to sting you and it's going to take away your psychosis, right? And that's like another thing that makes you panic a lot, because when you have psychosis, if the Skinner man grabs you at all or touches you, you're pretty much dead. Like, unless you get to an antidote quickly. So you have to be very fast, you know, which I found like a really nice trade-off. But you know, it's kind of a weird thing, because like some of the mines, so if you throw something at a mine, by the way, like if you're not fully away from it and like you're just a little bit after, you know, when the gas goes off and like starts to dissipate, if you just go up to it like at just before like it fully dissipates, you actually get affected by it, which is kind of bullshit, you know. And it feels like that effect lingers for too long, my opinion.
Yeah,
like the psychosis, like even if I lose 1 bar, I'm like, dude, do I really need to be
psychosis sucks,
this affected, you know?
Right.
Absolutely.
And Squoj learned that you should not ever say that, you know, you're having a good time or things are working swimmingly, because then the game for some reason just decides to ratchet up the intensity, and then you proceed to get mauled to death. But
I think Squoj spent a lot of his time
getting lost
on the ground.
On the ground or lost. I was like, where the fuck is this dude, man? He's like, I don't know where I am. Like, we know. We got, like, you said that before. But it was interesting, like, just how, like, I feel like the second level just kind of, I don't know, maybe it's expecting you to finish the first entire trial first, Brad, you know? But the second level feels like
up the difficulty.
Yeah, you need to like work together. Yeah. That was kind of weird. No, maybe like because you learn the police station because of repetition, you know, like you're gonna fail. And it was really funny because when we first did the trial, the exam, me and Brad was like, I was like, what if we fail, Brad? He's like, we're not gonna. I was like, I need to level up. These tickets. That was the most confident I've ever seen him. But we were panicking like through some parts, like, oh my god, we're gonna fucking die, man. This is
one of us might not make it out, but we're gonna win.
The best part was Brad had like the most clutch plan I'd ever seen. So you know when you're shocking the snitch, right? Yeah. He's like, screw this, because we're being chased by the giant, the snitch, and a dude with a machete, and I'm fuck this. So I'm trying to like circle him around.
In that shock area?
Yeah, I'm trying to circle him around like the surrounding area, because I kicked open a door and we're just like running through the garage or whatever. And Brad goes, I'm gonna throw my mine down. So the mine goes down, it like stuns him, and then he's just holding on. So what we learned is that you get shocked if you hold it down for too long, like you take damage.
Yeah.
So while Brad is doing that, I threw my rig just so we could stun them both, so we had enough time to escape. So it was like the balls on Brad to do that, because we were just like taking a little bit of our time to do it. But I was like, oh my god, dude, we gotta go. This is too stressful.
Well, yeah, it's like every time I walked in the room, like two of them were chasing me. So I was like, we're never going to complete this objective. So I just put my smoke grenade at my feet, started the execution or the electrocution, and then obviously all of the enemies just came to me, hit the smoke grenade. So I was like, I have like 6 seconds. So I was just sitting there getting shocked myself, and I'm just like, either I die or we win. So let's go.
Thank God I upgraded my rig so it stunned him for longer, because it even got the big dude behind him, which I thought was kind of weird because I directly hit the policeman, and that big dude was literally gonna smack the shit out of Brad and kill his ass, man. The other thing we found out, Jack, I don't know if you noticed. Did you know that we can sprint with the snitch? Did you know that?
Sprint with him?
Yeah, so you can push him and just
like hold on to him.
Yeah, when you're holding him, and you can just press sprint, and you'll just like sprint through. I was being chased by the big dude.
Whole
yeah,
fucking time we could have sprint with him.
Yeah, I figured that out because I was like, man, I'm zooming with this guy.
Man.
And then because like, so when you're playing on higher difficulties, like the snitch goes back very far, like very quickly.
Really?
Yeah. And
so you have to be like on it.
You got to be on it quick. And then they also the other thing they throw in, which is just a fucking nightmare that I didn't notice. They have cameras. They have sensors at the top of some of the doors where they drop like automatic grates to. If they see you at all, they immediately drop the grate. So like you need to be very careful. Now I did use it to my advantage because like the giant was chasing me, so I had the like sensor look at me so I could drop the grate on him. I was like, great. But then like he was like, oh, okay, and then he walked to another room and then cut through anyway. I was like, oh shit, I forgot about that, dude. So the other thing is like there's kind of like this interesting diversity in enemies. So some enemies do not show up in the darkness, right? But there's some that like wear like night vision, and that dude
I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, the night vision one, man. Me and Brad hate that guy. He'll find you in your hiding place too. He'll pull you out like quickly.
Really.
Oh my
god. His freaking vision cone or whatever
is insane, dude. Insane. And like Brad was in a good hiding spot too, and Brad's like, oh no. But if you go outside, he can't see. So it's nice that they like have that balance of like certain enemies can chase you in the dark, but they'll probably lose you quickly. But if he's got night vision goggles, he's going to get to you. I just like kind of that type of variety and diversity in this game because it really does keep you on your toes, like keeps you, engaged. I was wondering how like the upgraded difficulty would be. Like you were saying like, oh, I want it like randomized a little bit. Like, oh, you'll get that. If you're not comfortable playing the game right now, you will probably get absolutely like tensed up and have moments of panic because enemies are just like, swarming.
Well, that's like when we first started.
When you first came,
we had the big dude. Yeah, when I first came. And the big dude came out. I didn't know what the fuck to do. So what I did is I sat in a police trunk for a good minute or two.
I mean, don't worry, dude. Like Brad fucking hid while I was getting chased by my doppelganger. I was like, "What the fuck is this shit, man?" It's seriously, it's just one of those games, dude. I feel like it's these types of games have been done before, right? They have a lot of games out there, but this one feels just of like a different quality.
It is a lot different,
right? And visually, this game is pretty fantastic. Honestly,
yeah,
very very cool. I mean, there's some jank though with some of the running animations and stuff like that. And the slide animation is just the goofiest looking shit I ever.
I think some of the stories like and cinematics are pretty fucking out there.
Yeah.
I don't know where they came up with some of the shit, but then I know the first two Outlasts were actually pretty fucking weird too.
Oh no, the first two Outlasts were twisted, bro.
Like one of them had an orgy scene.
Yeah. Giggity. The Outlast games, I just like they really push like the ESRB rating of mature.
Yeah.
It always feels like they're just like on the precipice of getting adult only because there's like self-mutilation. There's obviously tons of gore in it. There's nudity, full frontal nudity. Like the game does not pull any fucking punches at all. And it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of fearless because it really does feel like The Purge and Saw had a baby and it was Outlast. With some paranormal stuff Like in the first two games, there is like this kind of fear of the paranormal into it. And then this game feels more like we're just playing with some sadistic fucking serial killers. Yeah. Even though Brad's favorite mission was it the orphanage, Brad, when the kid was like doing drugs and stuff. That shit was so
Absolutely.
funny. There's a part of the mission when they do the intro to like drugs, and it showed like a kid slamming his head into the cocaine, dude. And he puts his head back up. We're like, yeah, that kid's having a good time. What are you talking about?
I missed that class.
Oh, that was where was that class when I was growing up? It means drug use. I got the dare. I was part of the dare program. I'm like, nah, not with the Murkoff facility.
So have you ever sat and read the reviews on Steam?
Yeah.
For this game.
give me some of these reviews.
All right, let's hit you up with some crackheads started beating me and then told me to leave them alone like I was the problem.
I know. That happens a lot. That happens a lot in this game.
I would have paid $30 just for the arm wrestling.
Yes, dude, the arm wrestling's fantastic. Jack beat the shit. I beat Jack once, and then Jack beat me. I also beat the crap out of Brad in that. Sneaky fucked people up, dude.
Snipers, man.
Sneaky fucked people up in that.
It's because she's cheating.
Insane. Yeah, she's probably cheating.
I beat Sneaky,
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
Because you cheating too.
You cheating, bitch. Yeah, there's
I can shut doors on my friends and watch them die.
Yes, 100%.
Lots of naked men bullying me, just as God intended.
Just as the Lord required.
I was in Los Angeles around 3 years back. This game is a toned down version of my experience.
Outside the Staples Center, baby. Homeless alley.
Oh, man. Some guy called me sexy and proceeded to chase me for 30 minutes.
Most attention that person's ever received in their life.
Yeah. Oh, man. Fun Christian game for kids.
Absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
Dude, it's like seriously, man, like whatever the developers were on, I hope they continue that shit for like season 2 and season 3.
You kind of need that weird off the wall shit to keep people interested, because you don't want that same old story. Oh, horrible people. Yeah. Same old horrible story, some fucked up scientific
experiment.
Mess up experiment. Now, these are like, I don't know.
Well,
is there a full backstory to how those people became?
Yeah, there is.
They are
100%. So that there's like records that you acquire throughout your playthroughs. By the way, their locations are randomized. So
I remember picking some up.
It was really funny because Gaming Harry in his YouTube video, he's like, I went and found. I found out that all the records are randomized, so I had to like literally wander around the entire time. Through various maps to get all of the records. So here we are. Here's the breakdown. I was like, I appreciate that, because I do not want to do that at all. Like, I'm not one of these lore guys.
All in luck. Like,
I mean,
you just got to be looking at the edges and all the places at
it's
all
times. Like, I felt like the first 2 Outlast games were really good with stealth, even though it was kind of ridiculous. Like, you couldn't fight back, In this game, you can defend yourself. But the story is, you're a homeless individual. You're picked up by the Murkoff facility, the corporation, and then they're going to like run trials and tests on you. And like based off what you've seen, like because in the original Outlast, you got attacked by patients sometimes that you couldn't defend yourself with, right? Like that was kind of ridiculous because I'm like this able-bodied photographer who's like jumping fucking fences, doing all this stuff, right? So it didn't make sense. In the Outlast Trials, like, you have a reason why you cannot defend yourself, right? Like, some of these dudes are fucking monsters. Like, that guy took a fucking cattle prod to his dick. You know what I mean?
It turned him on.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't stand a chance against that guy.
No.
There are naked dudes who have heart issues. My favorite line is when the naked chases, he's like, my goddamn heart. He keeps saying that all the time. My damn heart, I'm gonna get you. And then you have like the blind individuals who are just fucking super aggressive and strong. Then like when you complete some of the MK trials, dudes are coming out with like these massive like battle axes and shit. And I'm like, dude, I don't stand a chance against them. So it's good that they gave you rigs to compete with. You also get abilities where you can like, if you have like a glass or a brick or a throwable item, you can use that on an enemy. Like the moment you get it, as to break free and stuff like that. But they give you a reason why like you really couldn't defend yourself or beat them up. You know what I mean? Like it's still ridiculous that I can't like, kill like one of the basic enemies, like a screamer. Like, let me just body this for a second, Like, you
Yeah.
stun locking motherfucker. Let me just hit you with this brick in your head.
Yeah, it's too bad you can't at least permanently slow them
That
after so many
Yeah,
things.
if you hit him, like I think, what did we find out, Brad? Like, I think the big dude, like, you can't hit him with throwables after a period of time because he's just like he becomes immune to it or something like that, right? You can't
What the
cheese it.
fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, because
Hey.
Brad hit the guy like 3 times. He disconnected too. Brad disconnected in our game yesterday. And I was like, bro, I
Like a
will fuck.
rage quit disconnect or
No, his game disconnected. I was like, bro, I will
Oh.
quit this fucking game right now, dude. Like, we got far. I was like, I will quit this right now because I do not stand a chance by myself.
Yeah, we were almost done killing the snitch, and
Oh, shit.
my game just crashed. And I was like, no. I was like, we spent so long freaking finding those keys and the corpses. So I was like, let me see if I can rejoin. And I rejoined. Yeah, I rejoined right next to the. I was hiding in a barrel. I rejoined right next to the barrel, so I immediately jumped back into it.
He's like, not today, Satan. I'm going out like this. Yeah, dude, I'm just a massive fan of this game. Like, honestly, if you haven't played the Outlast Trials, if like, you know, anyone in your chat's watching, if they haven't played it, or if, like, for anyone who does watch this, like, I will sing praises for this. It's a great independent game, right? Great indie game, early access. Like, you get solid content with it, you know, and it's really polished. I think that's the big thing. We had, like, I've seen 2 crashes so far. Like, when we all got disconnected, which was hilarious because Sneaky and them panicked. And then, or they also knew that we had to go back in there and get murdered again. And then when Brad disconnected and I panicked because I was like, bro, I can't do this by myself right now. They put this up for 2. But yeah, I think that this game has potential to really, like, and here's the one thing I want them to do. I hope they do. If they do introduce like season 2, 3, and all that stuff like that, I'm hoping that they maintain like the other campaigns. Right, just keep them there, like 1 through program
so
X.
you can revisit it.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Yeah.
Because so far I like all of them. I mean, the carnival I think is a little bit too stressful at times, right?
Yeah.
Like, me and Sneaky got bees and Jack and Squoch. I think Squoch died twice, didn't he? I think we had to revive him twice.
Yes.
I have a whole section where Jack, you're like watching my feed because you're like, oh, you're getting chased. I'm like, dude, I couldn't find a spot to pick you up at one point. I was like, dude, what the fuck is happening? I have like a whole cutoff.
Yeah.
Jack, I have a cutoff when you legitimately, this is perfect. You were talking about the pipes in the video. You're like, all right, I'm going to go downstairs. I immediately cut to black and put Jack died. And then we just pick up after you died. I was like,
that's the last we heard.
Yeah, that's the last we heard. He's gone, you know? But yeah, no, I think playing this with 2 players is fun. I think with a group is just great. I don't know how like the single player experience has been. I've watched some people.
I thought about doing that today, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be stressed before jumping into a podcast.
Yeah, because what was your heart rate? I think you said 129, right?
So at some points of the game, it hit 125.
Right. There's a lot of panic, man. Like, seriously.
Yeah.
I remember, like, we were pushing the fucking this happened again, Brad. Remember we were pushing the kids into the wood chipper or whatever, and I got attacked and pretty much murdered, and Brad had to figure out how to get to me. And then I was like, hey guys, fucking warn me when she's here. And you're like, cool. And then I get attacked, and then Sneaky's like, hey, she's behind you. And I'm like, are you fucking serious right now? Thanks for the late call out, guys. Oh my god. But I just find, yeah, I'm a huge fan of the game. Like, I don't know how you guys really feel. Like, I'm surprised me and like Brad is stuck with it, honestly, because I don't think horror games are his jam. But
right.
Brad's stuck with it, and he's like messaged me like on the side. He's like, hey, dude, Outlast. Like, I was like out, doing something. He's like, Outlast Trials.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
We're gonna get that program X, man.
Yeah, we do. We gotta get it. I mean, yeah, with Jack, we can.
So when you guys unlock something, it's open to the group. Whoever has.
Yeah, I think who's ever the lead. That's gotcha. So like I think that, but we don't. We wouldn't do that to you, honestly, because it would be very unfair for you to be like, you really do need certain upgrades to complete.
No, yeah, I have.
Trials.
You know what I have? What the hell did I forgot what I equipped. I have something.
You need money to like upgrade your stamina, all that stuff. Being able to
you also need money to look cool too. You can't be having some generic looking
some
psychopath
goofy ass motherfucker. Gotta have a metal foot like Brad. Brad's got a metal foot. It's just one of those games, dude. I'm like,
yeah, I can't wait for the battle pass.
If they fucking do that, I don't know. If
I might, dude. I might
Battle
support
Pass?
it. I
I
might
don't know
support
about
it, bro.
that.
If I get good shit, I might support it, man. I think it'll be
You
like
paid full price for that game, didn't you?
you paid $30 for that game.
Oh, 30? Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
$30, and
That might be okay.
I got some good content with it, and some challenging content too, which is something that my head, for some reason I was like, it won't get that hard, and then I played the police trial with the exam. I was like, oh shit, it does get hard. It gets a lot harder.
Yeah,
like them just cutting off certain doors, man, certain routes is just like, oh shit, man, my pathing's all fucked up because I got to run the police station 3 times with you guys.
Yeah,
with everyone collectively, and like. During their fucking video that we were recording, Chibi just kept inviting me the entire time. And I was like, as we were trying to pick up Sneaky when she got destroyed. I think that's also cool that you can de-aggro them. Like if you enter like the outside of the building, right? Because after I hit, I think Cole, I think that's the cop's name, with the brick, and it got him off Sneaky. Like they all de-aggro. They all left and went their separate ways until they went outside to chase us again. Brad, I have a question, man. Do you think it was faster? Like in the like the enemies were a little bit faster or a little bit more aggressive in the higher difficulty modes?
Yeah, I think they path a bit more effectively.
Right.
With the first trials, they were more just like leisurely walking around. This one was like they were on a mission. Like they knew you were there and they're going to find you.
They're coming. My goddamn heart. I'm gonna get you. Yeah, I don't think if you do happen to stream it, right, you have to be aware of like certain things like the nudity and also some of the things that Cole says. Some of the things that Cole says is just like completely off the cuff. That cop, he says some like incredibly racist, xenophobic shit. And I'm like, yo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's because when you're playing on the higher difficulties, he's like roaming very fast. He literally goes to like if you open a door, if you start like doing all the stuff, like he goes through all those places. Like that's why Brad, I wanted to record it because Brad was just so frustrated. He's like, how are you finding me? You shouldn't be looking over here.
I'm surprised this game has lasted on as long as it has been on streams then.
Look, I don't know, man. I mean, if you do 18 plus, I guess, but like when we got to the orphanage, me and Brad were like, whoa, there's no
Maybe
shot.
We just skip that one from streaming.
I mean, if you want to skip, like, you can probably like, you guys can't look. Like, don't look away, chat. Look away when the nudes come out. When the dong's just hanging in your face, look away. They threw.
I'm worried about it.
They threw a couple of they threw a couple nice curveballs in the orphanage too, in regard to like certain enemies that like they play dead on you.
Was that after the carnival?
Yeah. The orphanage seems like. It just, I love the way the game looks, dude. I think it's so strong visually, and it's I just wish that like instead of you obviously meet Mother Gooseberry in the tutorial. I was hoping that they would introduce like a new enemy every level, because she's in the carnival, which kind of makes sense. I think her being in the orphanage makes sense too, right? But I think like you could have introduced like some sadistic doctor who chases you and stuff like that. Right, you got the dentist because like it fits her, her entire backstory that we're like going through this insanely just, like teeth amusement park. Don't forget to brush your teeth or Mother Gooseberry is gonna put a drill through your head. And then you get to the orphanage, it's like you gotta do something about the kids, man. Listen, I gotta feed the orphans somehow, bro. And what you feed them, it ain't nice. You know what I mean? Got a lot of bleach. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah.
I'm
wondering if they're gonna offer a bit more customization with like cosmetics and stuff like that. I mean,
no,
I think,
dude, you unlock a lot of stuff. Yeah, you unlock a lot of shit, man. Oh yeah, dude. As soon as you level up, like, and if you complete objectives a certain way, like you get an A+ or an A or something like that, like you get more stuff. Yeah, it is really cool. Like it like some of the cosmetics are pretty badass. Like Brad having like that like metallic foot. Like is really cool. Like there's some really off the wall outfits. Like you have one that looks like a gimp suit. It's just I don't understand it, bro. Oh man.
Yes.
Is there anything you want improved, Brad? Like what do you think could be fixed?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Jack, in the games you play, what do you think could be fixed? Or what do you want to see more of?
I'd like to do some kind of. I can appreciate the fact that you can't attack the enemies, but maybe create something that maybe permanently or for a minute cooldown or something like that they go away.
Oh, you
So
mean
you
like
want to murder?
You want to murder. You want to maim some of these enemies, have them limp away in disgust because they got beat up.
Yeah,
by
but maybe make it to where
by Brad's hobo.
if you do so many tasks or you hit so many check criteria, that when you meet that as a group or by yourself, that you are able to use a single move on an enemy of your choice.
Okay.
Like a tag team suplex.
Like a tag team finishing move. Like I grab the trash can, hit him with the trash can. We hit the deadly death drop on him. What the fuck? Brad, I have Brad jump on my fucking shoulders. He does like a moonsault or something. I mean, if they have the animation budget, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, just something that you could use to kind of because it's chaos the entire fucking time.
I love how you don't want to be defenseless, Jack. I like that. I like how the whole purpose of it is you like using stealth to strategize, and Jack's like, give me a gun. Why can't I shoot them? Let me pistol whip them just one time, right? Give me a one-shot weapon. That's fine. Let me just shoot the big guy. I don't need him chasing me.
Because a lot of these horror games where it's like multiplayer like that, the killers get to kill you all the time. You really don't ever get to do anything to the killer.
Well, I think it follows in the horror movie aesthetic, where you're kind of defenseless. The protagonist or the final girl is just like, sometimes they escape, sometimes they don't. I think it's more realistic that if I took someone off the street, like you can be scrappy all you want, but if I'm coming at you with a chainsaw machete, you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it's just,
right. And I'm not saying
Then I just whip out my chainsaw machete.
And maybe not allowed like to critically injure a main boss, but maybe any of the smaller minions or enemies that are out there.
See, but then like the I would say the take to that, right? Like if you want to do like give and take, if I'm the developer on harder difficulties, I would just have them wear like bulletproof armor, so you can't maim them and shit. Pull a little Metal Gear Solid 5 on your ass. Be like, oh yeah, you want to be able to defend yourself, Jacqueline Curl? Like, go fuck off. It's not your game. Go back to playing Call of Duty or something. Go play Overwatch.
Yeah.
But I think that I think just for me, like I just want more diversity with the bosses. I'm okay with like the aggressive pathing. By the way, I think that's really fun. But I think if they had more boss type characters, because I'm really interested to seeing what they can do. I know they're a small team, but it'd be really interesting to see what they pull off next. Like, I mean, because this game has potential to have like some really cool fucked up areas for you to play.
See Vin Diesel's.
Yeah, Vin Diesel.
That's a bad guy.
Family.
Is that Dominic Toretto? Nah, dude, fuck that. Just get him play what's his name? Riddick. Shit,
Yeah.
I would just do a whole Pitch Black level, like you have Riddick stalking
With the
you.
cup.
Yeah, oh, you're fucking dead, man. Right? We have a whole thing where we accidentally like they have like a fake thing like you killed John Wick's dog. Now John Wick is chasing you. It's like, please, John.
Your unique ability is a sharpened coffee mug.
Coffee mug. Yeah, I think that it has good customization right now, especially when you start leveling up, because I know you only played a couple hours, but like when you start getting through completing challenges and stuff like that, like, yeah. I do hope they I want to see them randomize some of the levels too, like objective wise. You know?
Yeah, I think that's another thing that I forgot about. That I would like to change. If not the way the how to get to certain ones.
Yeah.
Like what I was saying, where you reskin where the doors are, the windows,
Mm.
or like maybe that cop car is not there anymore, so you move it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think
but
that's
maybe
possible.
Nope.
changing the location of the actual objective would be a good idea too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that would be a good thing too. So like, obviously, but like what they'll do is that they'll have like certain areas locked off, so you have to like unlock doors or something. I think that's what we did, right? We had like to get to that secret area, we had to go through like we had to open up a switch and then head up into like a certain place. I think that's good progression for exploration because the game forces you because you know your battery runs so quickly, so you're just like, okay, well, I gotta fucking immediately make changes or I'm gonna die. That
Right.
type of stuff. So
Right.
you have to be pretty aware, I think, the entire time. Like, I don't think you can be lazy at all playing the Outlast Trials. That's just me, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I would recommend, or the one thing I would like to see, is kind of like a class system. So the way the upgrades work is you have one area of upgrades that just make your character better, and then you have the engineering portion where you get to upgrade your rig. I would like to see them do like skill trees based on the rig. So like if you have like let's say
Like
the
a trap
stun, well
instead of electronic trap be like a
well instead of
gas trap.
having like two
Incendiary.
separate like
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
having two different upgrade areas where you're just upgrading your character or
Right.
upgrading your rig, like your upgrade path is dependent on your rig. So like if you're upgrading the stun, that would be like the bruiser or the brawler, so you would probably run faster or have like more aggressive actions,
Okay.
kind of like a skill tree,
Yeah.
that incorporates like your character upgrading as well as your rig. And then like the healer does like co-op or like support type actions faster or quicker, or
Okay.
the like I would like to see a bit more, because as of right now you can just, there's no like everyone is on the same path, right? You either upgrade your character or you upgrade your rig or you do a little bit of both. Like
So,
there's no real
yeah, there's no real difference. Yeah, so you want to play Battlefield. Okay, fuck off. No,
exactly.
Yeah, we
though.
want that shit. Yeah,
Battlefield 3.
Battlefield 3. Not 2042. No, I think that would be kind of cool. I mean, the game is in early access state, right? So they could essentially like scrap the way the game
Right.
works in season 2.
Which I do think after, I think there is, once you hit a certain level, I think there is another upgrading option.
Mhm.
Like once you hit like level 10 or 12 or something, there is a whole nother.
Yeah, you have things
Oh.
you can add like to
Yeah.
like the game really does a good job of pretty much incentivizing you completing objectives and trying to be like not just complete objectives but complete them with like a high letter grade, because you get extra experience, money, you get extra gear. I think it's cool. I think that like some of it though, man, like one of the badges, like you can't take damage, and it's like, bro, come on. If I'm playing with a group of friends, I'm gonna take damage because I'm fucking setting them up. So I have to. I'm gonna get work too. I think you can only really do those in like certain maps, man. I think me and Brad had a pretty decent score, but we took so much damage. It was
Yeah.
It's just
Like we both had like B minuses, and I took like damage 14 times, and everything else was like an A plus.
yeah. I was like, you're great, but you just kept getting hits. Well, I fucking know I kept getting it. There's like 8 of them, dude. Like, what do you want me to do? There's a dude with a machete. There's a naked guy with his dong out. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, you guys act like this is normal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do hope that you can kind of especially with the sensor doors. I hope you can shut. I really wish you could shut those off. I don't know if you can or not, because I was just like trying to find more corpses to pull out, the keys on. I was like, yeah, I think
You know what?
they could do that too, or you could disarm.
Do any of
certain things.
the do any of the maps have like a control center or something like that?
I mean,
The police station should be something that has that.
essentially, so if you walk around and you pay attention, you're gonna see people watching you the entire time.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's like a testing
Oh
environment.
yeah, that I've seen.
Yeah. So, it kind of obviously reinforces the fact that you're in a trial, right? And then they kind of serve as like a reminder of like there's probably an intensity director that's watching you play the entire time. And then if you're too comfortable, they don't want you to feel too comfortable, so they'll fucking
I
throw
think-
more enemies at you.
Yeah, it'd be cool if you can like hack doors to shut them for a long period of time.
Bro,
Like the strategy would be to have
I
one of the
think-
monsters chase you to a
I
certain
think this
room.
game is like set in the 80s, man. So what are we hacking with?
But look at the technology they
Tweezers.
have. I mean,
I mean,
they're
we're-
brainwashing people.
Yeah, you can do that with
So-
acid, bro.
So they so in
LSD, baby.
the harder difficulties, they actually have a similar. They do have not turrets. They have like motion
The
cameras.
sensor doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you trigger the camera, it'll close the door.
Yep.
So you can theoretically just cut off enemies.
But what
by-
allows it to?
I know,
reopen?
Brad. I talked about that earlier.
I
Yeah,
know.
you did say that, but like,
Yeah.
does that stay closed or what? What
It
actions
stays
taken
it
to
stays
reopen it?
closed as long as you are in front of the sensor.
Oh,
But
so you have to
if
have
if
somebody
you have
standing there.
pathed past that, right?
Yeah.
The enemy will just stop and go, "Cool, there's another door right there. I can get to you."
Oh.
Yeah, that's essentially
Then you
what they can
die.
do. Yeah, then you gotta get that naked dude chasing, but goddamn heart. Stop. I mean, the dude's getting his cardio, and I give him credit, but man, you can stop at any time. Like the cool thing was, or the frustrating thing was, depending on if you're Brad, was Brad pushed him, the snitch, into this, the end chamber, and then the big dude still chased him. Like the dude didn't stop chasing us, which was like, all right, their pathing becomes, they become more aggressive, they lock onto you and stuff like that. It's just how it is. So there's a constant level of tension, I think, in the Outlast Trials that I feel is not necessarily manufactured tension. It's like if you fuck up, like you're gonna get punished. There's like legit consequences for what you do. You make too much noise in the area. If you get really like impatient, you don't look for ways, through rooms. If you want to jump through a window, any of that stuff, like you're just gonna force the enemy toward that side. And depending on the type of enemy, they might be able to see in the dark, or like their field of vision might be enhanced based on the difficulty, and their AI also might be smarter. Because they're gonna break doors. They'll break doors to get to you, that type of stuff. So it always feels like something's working against you. Like even if you've like put out a really good plan of like, I'll be the bait, I'll be the bunny. I'll have them chase me. And then what Brad found out was like we had someone chase us, but the dude stopped. The cop was like, "Nah, you're trying to shock him," so he just like chased Brad immediately. We're like, all right, So there are some strategies you can pull to make this game go quicker, but you have to really coax the AI and actually think about what you're doing, and that's really difficult when you're put in these really tense situations, because sometimes strategic thinking goes out the window when you start to panic. So that's why I think I'm a big fan of this game.
There was one moment we were doing the circus or the fairground thing, and me and you were hiding in one of the booths, and one of the grunts, one of the smaller dudes, like saw me, so I jumped out from behind the counter, and I was trying to be a diversion so you could get away. So I was like looping this guy, and I was jumping over the counter, and then he would jump over the counter, and I would immediately jump back over it, and we were literally just like swapping places. And I do this maybe, I don't know, 15, 20 times, and I look over there, Ken's still crouched in the corner. I'm like, dude, move, go somewhere.
I'm literally the entire time in my head doing do 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 do. That's all I can think about. I was like, oh my god, Jesus!
All of this is for naught.
I'm doing all this work only to die. So, I don't know. We don't have to do closing thoughts in the Outlast Trials. My recommendation is that people pick it up and play it. If you're a fan of horror games, you're a fan of fun multiplayer games, $30 on Steam. Like I said, I think it's high quality, really high level of polish, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring up next. Like it's just such a fun game to play. Jack, what about you? From what you played so far,
I think I would recommend it for sure. It's definitely been a fun game. It's challenging. It's not easy. And it really makes you work as a team to come up with a strategy to get to completion of a certain objective and multiple objectives on top of that, while also running your ass off from these monsters.
It's a nice incentive, right? Like to play as a group, to actually team up. Either you can sabotage, harass. But it's nice that they have like good depth to it. Like, everyone can play a role if you want to, even though like your build is specific on you, but like using different rigs is really recommended so you can, utilize your stealth effectively and path effectively.
Yeah.
Brad, what do you think, man? Like, I think this game was surprising for you, right?
Yeah. No. What? Once again, I do like multiplayer content when I play with other people. Right. This is not something I would play by myself or play with random people. I don't even know how you do that. I don't know if there is just matchmaking, but
Yeah, you can. You can just find a group.
So
if you're lonely,
like to me, that's a nightmare in itself. Trying to play with random people cooperatively is just that's
open voice chat.
You never know. You might find some cool people. Imagine if like here's the other thing. Imagine if like open voice chat actually coaxed enemies to you, like in like Phasmophobia. Like that would be fucking dope. I would absolutely like over here, like please come murder my team. I need to be able to get to this here generator.
I would like to see more lore stuff. I know there's a lot of like randomized documents that you can pick up throughout the trials and read about the lore, but I would like to see some.
Yeah, hopefully there's some story content
stuff
in the upcoming seasons. A little bit more story emphasis instead of just like being you just being some psychopath running into this like inhumane trial, right? And I'm assuming like when you beat Project X and you go through like the end, there's probably like some lore to it, but I'm hoping like they really don't let you walk through until season 2 happens, so then you actually branch to a different area and stuff like that. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I think they just have a really strong formula right now. It just depends on like their level design moving forward.
And when does season 2 come out?
Don't know, because the game only came out like a month ago. So there's going to be. I want to say I'm hoping that they haven't showed a roadmap. I haven't looked it up yet, but I'm assuming. That was my next
question. Did they have a roadmap?
No, I haven't seen one yet, but I'm assuming, based off like the actual content, I would say like hopefully 3-4 months. Because, if there's not a lot of additions to this game, I could see it kind of losing its player base really quickly. Because you can't complete. I've seen people have like, obviously there's some content creators who are like psychopaths and they've completed like everything very quickly, which I guess is fun. I don't know. I guess if you don't want to if you're burning yourself out, that type of stuff.
You got the arm wrestling to hold everybody.
I get arm wrestling. Like I just make a whole wrestling thing so we can fucking get people into the figure 4 leg lock and stuff like that.
Can you imagine that there'd be like a little wrestling ring in that little
I would fucking
prison area.
I would love that. All right, so Jack, you are live. Is there anyone to ask a question? If anyone wants to ask a question.
If anybody wants to ask a question, ask it. We have a question from Willie Jim.
Is it Brad? Of course he does.
It said, what's next for the Pixelated Thoughts team? What kind of what do you mean about what's next?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Next episode, or what's our next plans?
How about you put out a fucking video, Brad?
I know we do plan on probably having these live.
Yeah,
every episode now.
Are we? We said that? When the fuck?
I'd be okay with that.
Oh geez, yeah, I didn't even know we were doing that shit.
Yeah, every third episode is going to be live.
Oh, okay, I guess. I
don't know.
I didn't know we were doing that shit. Goddamn.
Let's just make it a thing.
If you haven't subbed to us yet, please do so. If you haven't watched our content, please do so. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, that stuff, right? I put out. I'm trying to kind of get a good mix of like group content and then videos that I do. So like. Today we did a Street Fighter 6 video. If you haven't played Street Fighter 6, this will come out on Friday, but we're live right now. So like Street Fighter 6 is out. That game is fucking fantastic. I did a quick world tour video. I want to get Jack to play it and watch it, because it has good single player content and the modern controls is really easy.
Yeah, I read up on that.
And then we have the Outlast video with Sneaky, Squoj, and Jack on Thursday. And then we have the podcast. And then next week we're doing like a Final Fantasy thing. Me and Brad are. We're gonna do like a tier ranking of like every Final Fantasy game, and then we'll also make it a giveaway for Final Fantasy 16. You gotta have a PS5 now. So if you ain't got a PS5, get the fuck out of here. You broke.
Squoze asks, when does Outlast Trials give me waypoints?
When does it give you waypoints? I don't know, Squoj. You need it, Squoj. What they need to give you, Squoj, for your rig is a fucking map, because you were. I was like watching the footage. I was like, why is he lost half the time, dude? Jesus. Most of his lines were like, where am I? Where are you guys? Where's the objective? What is a diner? I'm like, bro, we were right in front of it. How did you get that far away from me? That type of shit.
We will have to get Squares and Sneaky back on some games.
Yeah. I like how Sneaky will just get fed up and actually do the objective with me. That was pretty funny because because the top two, because me and Sneaky went up top, survived, actually completed the trials, and Jack and Squoch died within like a couple of moments. We're like, ow, how did both of you get killed?
Listen, I am completely okay with being the new game,
the sacrificial demi,
the idiot of the game.
Well, when
it comes to playing for
when
the first
Chibi
time.
does feel better, I do want to run something with her.
Yeah, we can do a Pixelated Thoughts crew game too.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, the big thing is, though...
Chibi is not here. We need to yell at her.
I know. I knew she wouldn't be. I was going to trash her anyway. Yeah, I think, like, upcoming for videos and stuff, I mean, we can do, like, if people put suggestions in the chat, like, we can absolutely do a podcast off their suggestions, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You know, I think...
what do you guys want to see?
I don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're talking about next week. Are we doing a PT or are we doing a fucking... anime?
Should be anime now. We had down a rabbit hole two times in a row because
oh, that's right, because both you guys are out.
Doki
Literature Club.
We can do a short one for that.
Dude, that one doesn't have to be short, bro. That's a good.
Oh, can that be a full?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna have to play that then. Okay. I have it.
Who suggested that?
Squoze
did? Yeah. Okay. Fuck, man. I want to do a video on Doki, man, but I'm like, I've already played it, so I think I think I can do like another playthrough of that, and then.
Do you want me to do a playthrough? And
yeah. If you want to,
we can record me doing whatever.
Yeah, if you want to record yourself playing it and stuff like that, and like commenting on shit, that's cool. I just need you don't have to put a reaction up, just kind of break down, because like what I want to do is like kind of get some eventually. So I know that I'm gonna get content from Brad when he plays Final Fantasy 16, so like I could fucking take some stuff from him, and then and then I'm doing like I'm going to do I'm doing like a Castlevania game for next week's video too. Lords of the Shadow.
Layers of Fear is coming out, so
Layers
I
of
can
Fear
do
comes
a
out.
review video on that.
Amnesia is the new Amnesia is out, and apparently it's a different game, like a different I think you can defend yourself too. I think you have a gun this time. I don't know if you had a weapon in the other Amnesias. I don't remember. I wonder if Layers of Fear.
So do the enemies.
I wonder if Layers of Fear. I know Layers of Fear is co-op. I think.
That'll be the first time.
Yeah, that'd be the first time, right? I wonder what they're gonna do. Just copy and paste Outlast Trials.
If you haven't seen it, Life Lessons with Hiromichi Onisan. That's the school teacher who he does like chorus for kids or something like that, or he does like a show. What was it, Sneaky? He does like a kids show.
Yeah, and he gets like his serious
and he has these
mode.
Like intrusive thoughts every time.
Brad,
it's so fucking funny.
Brendan, he messaged me and he was like talking about the podcast, how like he enjoys it, and he wanted to see us watch Dr. Stone. I know Chibi would be down for that because Dr. Stone.
How many seasons is that?
Oh, it's a lot, dude. We would have think of it as like Black. I think it's I think you'd like it more than Black Clover.
Yeah.
And
it's on my list.
Yeah, I think that we don't have to watch the full thing like last time, bro. I mean, I had to do a hard stop though on fucking Black Clover. I don't care what anyone says.
What do they do? What are those episodes called? When people make like short versions of an entire series, but it's like almost like a parody of what it looks like to us,
like the chibi versions and stuff like that.
No. What do they call it? Yeah, abridged.
Yeah, abridged versions.
Yeah, the abridged versions.
I mean,
I watched the Demon Slayer one for the first time a couple weeks ago.
Oh my god.
That shit's fucking funny.
I used to watch the Dragon Ball Z abridged all the time. They were fucking hilarious.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff, man. Loved it.
Quality. That's when YouTube was good, yeah.
That's when YouTube was good. That's when the YouTubes was a good time, says the old man.
Does anybody have any other questions?
What was Brad's question? I forget.
It wasn't important.
Yeah, that's true. It's never important with Brad.
Is that Cliff Notes for movies and shows? Oh, abridged. It's think of it of like them making fun of a show in its entirety.
Yeah,
all within
And they like
20 minutes.
they remix all the voices and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah. It's footage from the actual series, but they change what's being said.
Yeah.
It's like a bad lip reading, but
yeah,
Perfect.
pretty much.
Except for there's an anime called A Ghost Story where they apparently didn't pay the voice actors, right? I think, and so they just said the most off the cuff shit I've ever seen. You've probably seen like a couple things on TikTok if you look it up, like A Ghost Story. There's some like really fucking funny things with like some pretty prominent voice actors. They say some funny ass shit. I'll probably show you that, Jack, when we get off. But it's fucking hilarious, dude. Big time. Anything else, man?
Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, I'm down to do this live for the Pixelated Thoughts side every episode if we
Okay.
have
If we we can gain the topic and then
yeah.
I think once again we'll just switch it up in regard to who does the intro. Except for Chibi wants me to do the down the rabbit hole intro all the time now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Nice banana.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But play the other one,
That's
Brad.
what
You know what soundboard I like. Play it.
oh god, which one? What?
You know which one? The Dr. Disrespect one.
I've got a semi-boner, and I'm wearing sweatpants.
Half chubs for Pixelated Thoughts, people.
Yeah. Right.
And
And then down the rabbit hole will be live streamed through
Chibi's
channel.
And I think we can also try to get, if Sneaky ever wants to come back on, that'd be great. We can do we can try to do a VTuber episode. That's the one thing we keep talking about. We can
get Sneaky and Squoze.
We just gotta find time to get a rig. I don't know if like Squoj wants to play Outlast Trials again, man. He seems stressed at the end. He seemed pretty stressed at the end of those, man. That was pretty funny. All right. Exactly. Yeah, but if we can get if anyone else wants to guest on this, they can always take Brad's spot and be the offensive one, I guess. Having those types of conversations. Oh yeah.
For content, I will.
Yeah, for content. Absolutely, we'll throw for content. Doesn't matter. Oh my god, please. So I think that wraps it up, right? I think we're good.
Yeah,
we're locked in. All right, so
I think we're good.
If you haven't,
after this ends, I'll get back on stream just to.
Yeah, please follow Brad at Willie Jim on Twitch. He streams once a quarter, and I think it's time to meet his quota. So we actually know what, Brad.
Sunday.
Actually, you know what, Brad? Just wait till Final Fantasy 16 comes out, and then just stream the whole thing. Like,
no,
you have to. If you're a true fan. Jack is you're gonna stay back. You're gonna stay on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say bye to the chat and stream.
All right, cool, man. All right, I'll do the outro. All right, so like, share, and subscribe. This episode is gonna come out on Friday, and as Jack said, I guess we're gonna do this shit live from now on. So that's great. So please, if you have any questions and that type of stuff, if you have topics, please go ahead and present them.
Shoot them our way.
If you can shoot them before the chat, all that type of stuff would be great. And you know what? Fuck that. Brad, do the outro. Make it funny.
Goodbye, everybody.
Have a good one, everyone.
That's all you get.
Is that it? Have a good one, everybody.
All right.